Well, this here is the Maruti Suzuki Wagon R. This car doesn't need any introduction. It is one of India's best-selling cars. And today I have the CNG version for you. Yes, I have the SCNG version, and I'll drive it around and of course tell you how good it is to drive, how good it is to sit in, and in terms of looks as well as space, how it is on the inside. So let's get started. Well, now this is an SCNG car, which means that the CNG comes factory fitted and all the components are factory fitted, which makes it a very convenient thing. You get this changeover switch over here, which changes the fuel between petrol as well as CNG, and also two fuel gauges over here, one for the CNG as well as the petrol, and also you get an indicator which tells you which fuel the car is using. So very thoughtful, very unique, and also makes the entire cluster look very neat and clean, and the overall design also is quite decent. The quality is pretty good for a car at this price point, and the seats also offer you good support, good cushioning. Headroom also is massive because, well, so as you can see, the headroom inside is massive. Knee room also is more than sufficient, and there's plenty of place below the front seats where I can stretch my feet. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a very comfortable place to be in. The seat squab also is generous, and the cushioning also is quite good. The best part is that the doors open nice and wide, so the entry as well as exit aperture is very comfortable, and I would give the back seat of this car a strong score of 9 out of 10 for the sheer space as well as comfort. There's not much of a difference between when you're driving on CNG and when you're driving on petrol. It's very negligible, it's very hard to tell, and that's largely because Maruti Suzuki engineers have put in dual ECUs in the system. Yes, this car uses two ECUs, which really do help the engine breathe better, and the ECUs dynamically keep changing and altering the air-fuel mixture inside the engine, so it gives you the optimum kind of power that you need, and the air-fuel mixture also depends on the kind of driving that you're doing. So that's something which is very unique to the SCNG that this car comes fitted with, and that's something which you will not get if you of course decide to retrofit your car from the outside with this CNG tech. So that dual ECU definitely gives this car a big advantage. What you'll also like about this car is the overall comfort, because the suspension on this car is quite good. It doesn't feel like you're riding inside a small hatchback or a relatively small hatchback, because remember, the wheelbase of this car is relatively compact. On the highway also it feels relatively stable because the suspension does do a good job, and it definitely feels a whole lot more stable than your last girlfriend ever did. Now, these cars aren't really meant to be pushed into corners when you're driving up the hills, but that said, there's still some fun to be had in the Wagon R, because this car is built on the hardtech platform, and the hardtech platform in itself is a very dynamic platform, so it really does feel agile when you're pushing in corners. The steering wheel also is good in terms of responsiveness, and it also offers you very good communication. It's light, but it isn't so light that you start feeling nervous around bends or you start feeling nervous on the highway, so it has the right amount of weight in it. And as I just said, the engine also is very good in terms of not only responsiveness, even on CNG, it's also good in terms of refinement, because even on CNG when you start from cold, there isn't any shudder, the refinement is good, and it just feels like a nice, smooth and linear engine in terms of the power delivery. So it's an enjoyable car to drive as well, and one which you will truly enjoy driving even on the longest of long journeys. Benefit of using this SCNG tech is the fuel economy on offer, and this car offers you the best in class fuel economy with the CNG, and that's something which really adds a lot more value to the already good value proposition that the Wagon R SCNG really is. Well, now if you think that this CNG technology is only limited to the Wagon R, you're wrong, because Maruti also offers it on the Alto, on the Celerio, as well as the Ertiga, and also on the Espresso now. So that makes it 5 cars in the list, and you also get this technology on the Desire Tour, and a whole host of other cars will also get it soon. So this is something that is unique to the Maruti Suzuki range, and something which also gives it greater flexibility in terms of the variants that are on offer, and that's something that you should keep in mind when you make your next buying decision. The entire Maruti range, or almost the entire Maruti range, is available on CNG. In terms of the gearbox is a nice and decent unit. The throws are light, they're accurate, and the shift pattern also is quite good, and the clutch also has a nice and linear feel to it. It's a light clutch to use, so that also aids driving in the city. The steering also is light, and the overall visibility all across is very good, especially from this mirror, because the window at the back is nice and large, and the cabin of this car really feels nice and airy. So what I'm trying to say is that the Wagon R, especially in the CNG mode, is a very good city car. It's also good and decent for the highway, and it's a car you'll enjoy keeping on a daily basis. This car comes with an NGV nozzle, and so you don't have to open your bonnet all the time, because the nozzle is placed right next to the regular petrol filler cap, and that's something very good, because the NGV nozzle not only makes it safe to refuel this car, but it also is a much faster process when you fill it up, so that also saves time and adds to the overall convenience of having a CNG car in your family. Well, so overall, in summary, all I'll have to say is that the CNG logo should not deter you from taking a test drive of this car, because as I found out today, this car, same kind of petrol-like driving dynamics, the same kind of responsiveness, the same kind of smoothness, as well as the same kind of performance. And you should definitely go to a Maruti Suzuki dealership and check the entire CNG range, and I'm sure you'll agree with my verdict. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.